Obviously I was skeptical just because of everything else, but I feel like I won in the deal. You can't put a price on health. Health is wealth.
First of all, man, thanks so much for being here.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
All right, so now first of all, let you to talk about how old are you, what you do for work, and how long you've been dealing with your chronic low back pain.
Okay, so my name is Alfredo Gonzalez Jr. I'm 36 years old. I do fireplace installations. I think all of that pressure on my lower back is kind of just built up to this point where I didn't feel right and I had to seek help.
Gotcha. So kind of tell us this. So how bad was your pain before we working together?
Um, Pretty much I didn't want to do anything. I felt like as soon as I was done, with work, I had that long drive home, and then I felt like my body was locked up. I couldn't do anything until the next morning.
Gotcha. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it before?
I would say at least a 9. I don't want to say 10 because I think my dad has it worse, but yeah, I would say it was at least a 9.
What about your pain right now?
Right now, I feel little to no pain actually. If I do ever feel anything, it's just after the long drive, and then I just do the exercises, and it kind of just gets me out of that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
now tell me about this. So what have you tried before?
I've gone to a physical therapist. I've gone to chiropractor. I went to the ER when it really got bad and I couldn't feel my leg. And pretty much nobody could help me. And these exercises have actually shown me some results.
Gotcha. So like back in the day, how much have you been spending on a chiropractor and on a physiotherapist? Just out of curiosity.
Um, it was $100 a visit. I did it for every other week for about a year. So I would say it was 200 a month. So was that 2,400?
Wow. That's a lot of money. So like back in the day when you're doing all those exercise or all those treatment with your chiro and the physio, what do you think, is the biggest difference between like what they're doing versus what we're doing?
You guys treat things asymmetrically. I never heard that applied before. And it makes total sense to me. It's like, yeah, we're not the same on both sides. So it
Yeah.
only makes sense to treat them differently in exercise.
Yeah, man. So like when you're doing exercise with your physical therapist, what kind of exercise you guys are doing?
He just had me do different stretches. I also went to a massage therapist, and so with the physical therapist, it wasn't, I guess, in depth as this is, and so I didn't really see any results. And then my time was limited then, and I didn't want to step away to give it the time. I think it was that. So it was partially on me as well. This time it just got so bad that I felt like I couldn't ignore it. Um, with the massage therapist, I was doing all kinds of different things like cupping and I believe they call it scrapping or scraping. I was doing that. I've always tried to do stretches. I guess I just wasn't doing the right ones or for the right. I didn't incorporate breathing into it. That's another thing. I was just stretching, but no breathing. So I felt the difference with that. You know what I'm saying? I really needed a coach. I didn't need to be doing it, on my own. And I guess the other guys weren't really telling me what I was supposed to know.
Gotcha. And since you mentioned the breathing, I think that's like one of the breakthrough we had, right? Now, once you kind of master the breathing, you let your body and let your brain to kind of relax in a stage where you can maintain the long-term adaptations.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how it feels while I'm doing the exercises. It doesn't even feel like I'm doing an exercise at a certain point. It just feels like I'm relaxing and my body, I feel it loosening up and just kind of like almost going like into a feeling of just ease in function. I feel it in my posture, almost like it's correcting itself now, which is very a weird feeling, but it's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Back in the days where I'll believe, our muscle gotta get worked out, our muscle gotta feel sore so you can, actually get something out of it. But what we're doing is kind of an opposite in a way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I feel very in tune with myself now. My quad and my hamstring still feel a little bit of soreness, and I think that's just from the compression that was happening. Um, but I no longer feel numb. And I ran and I played a little bit of basketball. and I didn't feel any of the symptoms that I was having. Even in the right foot, the symptoms that I had over there, those are gone too. My foot didn't go numb or anything like it had been.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So, like, what would you say the biggest challenge you faced on your journey before we kind of working together?
Just finding something that worked, because everything I did, even though I kept at it, it was just like you said, in the one of the first videos I saw. um it doesn't stick, it doesn't stay that way, it just reverts back to the pain that you had. It's not a long-term fix. And with the breathing and with the certain and it's like tailored for me, the exercises that you've given me, and it's just very specific to my problem. And it's crazy because sticking to it, I actually got results that are staying. That there was a day this weekend where it was a bad day, I missed my exercise, and my body still was good the next day.
That's a pretty weird feeling, right?
Yeah, because I'm used to just being like an old man the next day again, and I'm like, all right, man, like this isn't good. But it wasn't the case this time, and it's it's uh it's kind of motivating too to realize it. Like, awesome, like I need to keep at this because it's actually showing me it's working.
Yeah, man. And I think, back in the day, you got to meet a lot of, physical therapists and chiropractic massage therapies that they've been telling you, just do those and just do that, and you're going to be good. Right?
Right.
So, like, what kind of your mindset before joining this program? Because we're basically telling you the same thing, right? They're telling you you're gonna get better. I'm telling you you're gonna get better. So, what's the like mindset behind this before you kind of join the program?
Obviously, I was skeptical just because of everything else, but I felt like I can be doubtful all I want and let that get in the way of me maybe finding, the relief I'm looking for. And I was just like, well, I'm gonna try it. He's saying, you were calling out all these other ones saying like it doesn't stick, it doesn't, fix the problem long term. It might feel good for the moment. And that was everything that I'd experienced. So I was like, well, let me see, if he's calling them out, that must mean he's got something different. And you have something different with the breathing and with the asymmetry, specific training, like all of that just was really like, okay, I never thought of it from that angle. And it really has helped for sure.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. So, like, what would you say, for somebody now that you know that it actually worked really, really well, and I can back out to my own promises. So, what would you want to say to those people? Maybe in their mind, they're thinking, oh, what if this doesn't work?
Hey, there was times where I was like, this isn't gonna work. And it was just like in the intro when you said, the first 4 weeks are the hardest because you're not really gonna see anything, right away. But the crazy thing was, I did see something right away. I started seeing, my posture was getting better. I was learning how to, I guess, maintain that posture during my drives by basically not doing what would feed into the problem. So I kept my back straighter, all of this stuff, the execution part, when I really paid attention to that, that's what helped everything else, because now I'm able to apply that to my everyday, in between the exercises. When I'm not exercising, I can actually feel the difference in what to keep, I guess, more aligned as opposed to the way I would normally walk. Like you said, we had to teach you kind of how to walk again. That I feel that, and everything you said pretty much has like pretty much come to pass,
That's
and that's
awesome.
the difference.
Yeah. And I want to, dive a little bit deeper in that too. So, how does, the changing of your posture, your movement affect your daily life?
It helps honestly because like I say, I lift a lot of fireplaces and stuff, and so obviously good form is important. But if I'm already compromised, even if I have good form, it's not really going to help. Doing these exercises, it's kind of got me, back to being aligned correctly, and now my form is better and more sturdy for when I'm picking these things up, and it's not hurting me anymore like it used to.
Gotcha. What about the difference in your mental state as well? Because I remember like back in the day, you kind of tell me you're frustrated, you're stressful, you're nervous on day,
Hmm.
just trying to avoid getting that injury again.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, so that's the crazy thing. Like all that mental stress that I was carrying around, it kind of just felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I no longer had that and it's weird because it's like I feel it all in my lower back, but it's just I guess it's more of a psychological thing. But all of that just kind of went away, as the weeks kept, going by and I kept, sticking with the program. I was like, okay, I'm really starting to feel better. Like everything about me just felt better to the
Every
point of like even my moods, everything was good.
like in terms of mood, what do you mean by that specifically?
I used to be a lot more short tempered, when met with, obviously like any type of adversity, because I'm already, in pain and like struggling to just do these things that should be easy for me. That's what I'm used to them being, and then now they're not. So I guess because I didn't have to fight with that anymore, I feel strong again. I feel like my leg is good. Now I have more patience, all the things that were kind of depleted because of everything I was going through. It's like I got them back.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's and I think back in the day, you tell me that you're leaving you're like in your 30s, but you're leaving in your 60 years old body.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I don't like feeling like that because I'm an active person. I'm always moving around, and then just to be like, oh, I can't move. Like, yeah, it wasn't a good feeling.
Yeah, man. And can you give maybe like one piece of like hard tactile advice to somebody who is listening to this, maybe, looking for a leg up?
Yeah, I actually read it in one of the intros where it says that every day that you're not working to fix the problem, you're helping it, stay longer and get worse. Um, and I kind of like always have approached life that way, and so it just kind of like made it clear for me to follow that path with this as well. And I would say just stick to the path. If you do choose to go this route, which I would recommend, um, then yeah, just stick to it because you're gonna definitely see results. You're definitely gonna fix the problems that you're looking to fix.
Wow. I'm just so happy for you, man. I really
I
do.
really appreciate it, man, and it's credit to you for sure.
All right. Any like final piece of advice?
Just just do this. Everybody wants to live life, you know what I mean. This definitely has allowed me to get back to the things I love. Started exercising. I've started playing basketball again, running. I'm getting back into the shape that I was in before all this started, and that's pretty much priceless, and it's definitely worth it.
And I think a lot of people mentioned that, this is too expensive, that's the too expensive. But now after taking the program and you waste a lot of like money and time before. So what do you want to say about that?
I don't feel that way this time. I feel like it would have been more costly for me to not try it, and it paid off. And I feel like I won in the deal. You can't put a price on health. Health is wealth.
That right there, man. That right there. You can't put a price on your house. That's for sure, man. All right, man. I think that's it for the interview. And
Alrighty, brother.
thank you so much, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You're being an inspiration for a lot of us for sure. Whoever is watching this video will get inspired.
I hope so, man. I hope so because it's not something worth giving up, just for a little bit of money.
You got it, man. You got it. All right. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
man.
Yes, sir.